Very good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Neha, Ambassador of Change for GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute. And very honored and thrilled to have amongst us Dr. Pratiksha Dikshit, who is the Honorable Principal of Springfields, based in Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh. And ma'am will be condensing her vast experience as an educator and as a leadership, as someone in the leadership position, and we'll be talking about pedagogical revolutions with technological interventions. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. A very warm welcome to you once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Pleasure for me to be a part of Detox and to share my views on pedagogical revolutions with technological interventions. Uh, many thanks to you for providing me this platform to share my views.
It's an honor, ma'am. I'll add your presentation so you can take us through it, and you have the stage now. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, learning never ends, as we all know, and to teach is to learn twice. It's true for all of us. So, innovation in education are of particular importance because education, plays a crucial role in creating a sustainable future. It can be said that school innovation is a must to develop 21st century skills among students and create contributing citizens for the future, which require going beyond the norms, collaborating and adopting newer pedagogies, tools, techniques, and supporting innovation. So, when I talk about innovation in classroom, then it is something like which is developing metacognition skill among the students. It's a kind of vehicle for progress in the classroom. How can I get my students to think, review, analyze, investigate, and research. We can say it is a problems based learning which must be adopted by every individual who whosoever is associated with education industry, because it inculcates transferable skills, that is self management, IT skills, critical thinking, communicating, collaborating, team working, literacy, etc., by finding and using appropriate learning resources with a purpose. So if I'm talking about this pedagogical revolutions with technological interventions, I'd like to bring forth uh, 1 minute. Yeah, my screen is visible, I guess. Yeah. So we are moving
Yes, ma'am.
out of an informative age and into a conceptual age. Conceptual age means the individuals belonging to conceptual age, they would be the future leader. A time where people who design, people who create, people who see big picture and can synthesize, they would be leading the scenario. And if we talk about the revolution, the paradigm shift, that is like transportation, we can see here bullock cart earlier, and now it is self-driven cars. In case of labor, here it's human labor, you can see a large number, but now a single living robot can do it successfully. Then shelter, we can see wood, and now energy storing bricks are available. In case of communication, earlier we were having this kind of telephone, whereas now we are using Android phones and Apples and whatnot. Printing, earlier block printing was used, but now 3D printing is available. Gaming, earlier Faro card game, now it is tactile virtual reality in the form of games used by the learner. Computer, very big huge computer, which was the first computer, but now we are using quantum computer. Intelligence, in terms of human intelligence, it was only the brain which was considered as the storage of knowledge, but now it is artificial intelligence, although created by brain, human brain, but now it is considered more powerful. Then education, earlier it was like teacher centric education where students are sitting in the classroom and the teacher is teaching, whereas now it is BYOD means bring your own device, where everyone is sitting in the classroom with their own devices. So global trends are changing. A huge paradigm shift is visible now in terms of school time. We can say now learning is available anytime, any place. Teacher centered to student centered focus is now can be seen. Then earlier it was mass instruction, whereas now it is personalized instruction, as we have seen in the previous slides. So features related to the global trends are like rapid knowledge growth is there, rapid career change is there, career extinction means the career options which are available right now, after may be within 5 years or 10 years, those jobs will not be available, they will be extinct. Just in time knowledge and the challenge of globalization is of course there, and impact of demographic issues will largely be impacting these our education sector. Technological trends thriving with multiple careers and flexible delivery system would be in use. So we can say that in this changing world, schools roles must fit the 21st century child, the child who is a Gen Z learner. Digital literacy, digital citizenship would be the most the term to be used more often. Globalization, robotization, we have already talked a lot about globalization, robotization done, digitalization going on, and we are going to enter into the era of automation. So we have to learn, we have to learn to live with the technology. See, if we talk about revolution in education, then earlier, say in the era of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, don't limit a child to your own learning, for he was born in another time, as said by Tagore. And now, as said by Professor Sugata Mitra, his theory of hole in wall is very famous, must be knowing, everyone must be knowing it. So learning happens naturally with minimal interventions to ensure maximum outcomes. So, if we are talking about ICT based education in classrooms, first we should know educators must know about the customization for a learner first approach, wherein they must know that individualistic approach, individualistic plan has to be followed for the students, enabling every student, supporting every child to learn at his own pace. Then teachers have to be facilitator of learning, and students will have more control of their own journey. And till now we were talking about life skills, 21st century skills, that is communication, critical thinking, creativity and collaboration. But now the other four skills of 22nd century will also be considered broadly, that is care, connection, culture and community. And what is the purpose of all these things? It is character building, the fifth C, which would be emphasized upon more and more. So a combination of evidence gathering and feedback from every stakeholder would be more important, which will help the institutions to plan about their further strategies. And schools will develop as a center of learning, and it will be in limelight, providing social grooming and cultural intelligence that is essential to their success. So now see, we are talking in terms of NEP also, new education policy, which emphasizes upon socio-emotional learning, which is very important. So when we talk about components of futuristic learning, there are four C's, that is learning skills, that is critical thinking, creativity, innovation, collaboration and communication. Then literacy skills in terms of IMT, that is information literacy, media literacy and technology literacy. And flips, that is life skills, it will be focusing upon flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility, initiative and self direction, productivity and accountability, and social and cross cultural interaction. So when I say that the futuristic learning, which is technology best, it is utilizing improving these three skills, learning, literacy and life skills, then the question arises how it is doing that. So learning skills, I can say technology can help students making learning more engaging and collaborative, rather than memorizing fact. Or students learn by doing and critical thinking. Life skills can be developed by practical skills, giving them knowledge of by including uh, let them learn how to create presentations, how to make blogs, learning netiquettes, the manners of and etiquettes of by using internet, and to differentiate what are the differences between, reliable and unreliable internet resources. So writing emails, these are the life skills which will be developed practically. And the next is literacy skills. So, nowadays anyone can correct the errors, grammatic errors or whatsoever easily. So it builds confidence in the user, and ultimately, consequently, advance in mastering literacy skills. So one of the aspect, that is e-learning, it consists of digital content, digital pedagogies, and e-learning spaces. So what's the meaning of digital pedagogy? Is it only to integrate technology while teaching, like playing games or using a video or listening to an audio? No, not at all. It refers to how our learners are utilizing, how to learn, why to learn, and what to learn. It shows them, like participating in a chat to talk, or posting about a specific topic, or making a blog. So here the level of thinking also is developing, along with utilizing the uh, tools and apps. So if we discuss about something about Bloom's digital taxonomy, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. It was there, it is there, and it will be there. Bloom's taxonomy will be there, but now we are talking about Bloom's digital taxonomy. That is, remembering means recognizing, listing, describing, identifying. So all these aspects are mentioned over here in this slide, and due to, shortage of time, I won't explain it in detail. But yes, it would be very, very relevant in terms of digital taxonomy and digital pedagogy also. So now learners will need new literacies. New literacies means social networking, privacy maintenance, identity management, how to broadcast themselves, how to filter and select the available data, reusing and repurposing the data, organizing the content, what is useful, what is not, how to filter it out. All these literacies will be learned by the learners. So now the question arises, when the learner is doing everything on his own, then where is the teacher? Will the teacher be eliminated? No. But the teacher becomes the subject matter expert. The teacher becomes the mentor or coach. The teacher becomes the conversation facilitator and the instructional designer. I can say the teacher will be the scaffolders, supporting the student learner by giving support from outside, helping him out to solve out the problem. And when the child is able to solve it on his own, then autonomy of academics is completely, ownership is completely transferred to the learner. This is the role of educator or a teacher. So this TPACK, that is TPAC model, can help educators in the classroom, because it helped them to give them some insight about how to integrate the technology in their teaching, if it is technological knowledge based, or if it is pedagogical knowledge based, or if it is critical content knowledge based, and or a combination of all these things. So this Venn diagram shows what kind of integration must be applied for the students or the learners having various capacities, in terms of their competency, in terms of their content knowledge, in terms of their technology knowledge. And Now, if we talk about multidimensionalism in education, learner centered approach to education, these are when we are talking about disruption in education, which is the characteristic feature of this platform. So accelerating at an unprecedented speed, this is what paradigm shift which we are observing in our education industry these days. So what is the future of education in this digital age? We can understand better with the help of this slide, that education industry is being disrupted. How? Education model is evolving, and this model says that 75% of textbooks will be eliminated in the coming time within next 10 years, and only the digital media will be in use for teaching. Students are digitally smarter than ever. Now they rely on multiple sources, various browser engines, Google and search engines are available, which can be utilized by the students. So educators have to keep themselves updated so that they can sort out the queries produced by the students. Experiential technologies are becoming a reality. Experiential technology means learning by doing, or we can say competency based learning can be developed by problem based teaching learning processes or strategies in the class. Data is the new currency, and efficiency and standardization would increase multifold in the coming time. And hyper personalized and adaptive learning will be used, like learner would be aided by cognitive technologies like what I want, when, where, from whom, and it will result in self-paced learning, competency-based progression of the learner, and it will provide focused remediation, which will help educators as well as learners to overcome the problems faced during teaching learning process. And artificial and multiple intelligence driven technology will be in use, using artificial intelligence or augmented reality. All these technologies will be based on power of machine, which will help students learn by using hyper personalization, means AI system, which is used to develop a custom learning profile of each student and customize the training materials for each student based on their ability, preferred mode of learning and experience. So what will be the result? It will be learning insights will be enhanced, and cognitive automation will be taking place, as I discussed about metacognition skills also. Avatar teachers and virtual buddies will be used more often, and experiential learning, which will develop knowledge, skills, and values from direct experiences outside a traditional academic setting. Now learning is not necessarily done in it can be done beyond the boundaries of the classrooms, outside the classrooms, connecting with nature, or by doing themselves. That is hyper personalized and adaptive learning. So it will change the overall perception of teachers as well as learners in terms of real world learning experiences, and real time coaching and feedback will be possible. And accelerated social skills can be seen clearly. And if we talk about mixed reality and immersive experience, what we have discussed just now, then mode of learning, even though pandemic time would be over, but the learning would be blended. That is human as well as technology based. A mix of both the things will be used, and hybrid classroom design would be developed more frequently. Traditional classrooms will be converted to flipped classrooms, and scaffolding in terms of metacognitive, procedural, strategic, and conceptual aspects will be used by the educators, the teachers, and the four buckets for virtual school tech, that is content, collaborate, create, and curate, would be in the central picture when teaching learning would be taking place in class. And as I said, flipped classroom, it would be very easy for the learners to learn as compared to traditional classroom model, because what happens here, the content is given, provided to the learners with the help of either textbook content, or by providing PDF or the other files, and the child is coming prepared to school, then it is discussed in the classroom, so it saves time also. So what was happening first is now happening second. So completing homework and the other things are given as assignment, as home assignment. So role of home and school is flipped. That's why this flipped learning is very very important. Internet of Things, seamless interaction between human and machines for end-to-end customer experiences and enhanced efficiencies will be used. And smart classrooms is the most important thing now available in most of the schools. But connected computers would be there, security and well-being would be given more importance, and credentialing and assessments, which is a very important aspects as mentioned in new education policy also. It would be more transparent, it would be more secured, and time stamped based verification and authentication of transcripts, assessments, academic credentials, etc. would be done. Digital credentials are available now, and its verification has become so easy by means of technology, which is a very strong point for the students. And digital portfolio, making digital portfolio is very easy. So when we talk about competence in digital pedagogy, it is required in terms of pedagogical competence, digital competence, and ethical competence. And critical components of tech driven classroom, if I'm talking about, then what are the aspects, what are the things required? That is vision, skills, incentives and rewards, resources, action plans. And what happens, how to manage this management of technology driven classroom, I'll discuss in terms of or in 5 steps. Like, if vision, skills, rewards, resources, all these things are available, then it is a false start if action plan is not there. If vision, skills, rewards, and action plan is there but resources are not there, it would result in frustration. If vision, skill, resources, and action plan is available but rewards are not there, it would be a gradual change. When skills are missing from this sequence, then anxiety will be there. And when vision is not there but rest all the things are there, then a lot of confusion it would be causing. And when all these things are available, then change is possible, which we are talking about. That is pedagogical revolutions or technological revolutions. So here I would like to show a very short video of 1 minute. That is how technology has changed the face of revolution. Please go through it. 3D images. This is Z space. Virtual and augmented reality laptop. This is how learning is getting transformed. How the learners are enjoying and designing. How they transform items. And track the user's movements. (3D) pictures easily available. Everything at the click of a mouse. Fostering a fully immersive experience with detailed simulations. So we can see how technology is being used in the classrooms by the students, making the teaching learning process an easiest and the enjoyable one. So now I'll discuss about the apps or the tools which we can use, like video conferencing. For video conferencing, Zoom, Google Meet, and all these things we have used frequently during past 2 years. And then productivity tools are available in namely Google Docs and Edupuzzle, etc. Presentation tools are there, which are mentioned over here, shown in this slide, and online whiteboards, which we have used during the online classes. Video editing, making, many tools are available like vvideo, animoto. Then quizzes like Kahoot, Quizlet, Nearpod, Mentimeter, which everyone I am sure must be using. Assessment is possible, 360-degree assessment is possible with the help of these tools like book widgets or GoFormative or Educable or Testmos, etc. Learning management systems can be developed by the school management, which will help them manage the administrative activities and forming the strategies like Google Classroom, Edmodo, Canvas, Microsoft Teams, etc. Must have tools, that is scanner apps, Office Lens, Scanbot, Adobe Scan. Or vocabulary learning becomes easy by snappy words or word reference or graph words. Infographics available like Canva, Wisme. Digital notes in the form of OneNote, Evernote, Google Keep, mind maps, which is a very important technology used by almost all subject teachers, with the help of Mindomo or MindMaster, Iowa, etc., etc. So I can sum up about all these things saying that technology will never replace great teachers, but for sure, those teachers who are not techno savvy and who are lagging behind in the race of being multitasking are definitely going to be replaced by the techno expert multitasking teachers. These are the words of Denge Corsi. Even though the pandemic situation will get over, we would be using the blended mode of learning, teaching, learning, and it will replace the traditional approach of teaching learning by three E's, that is, educating, empathizing, and empowering the students. So, again, that process of design thinking, a big picture of design thinking comes into consideration, that if we have to make our students technology savvy, or if our educators have to be techno savvy, then they must go ahead with the strategy of design thinking. Design thinking means various steps are there for design thinking. So this is all about the slides which I have discussed on the topic pedagogical revolution with technological interventions. So I was talking about design thinking. So I would like to bring forth a few points about design thinking. Like, learners in the classroom, they are engaged by giving some problems, whether they are technology based problems or not. But first, educators should engage them in the classroom by problems which are open ended, the problems which are meaningful, the problems which are aligned to the curriculum. And how does the process work? This process works by following the design thinking approach. It means understanding the problem, sharing it, analyzing it, evaluating it, and then finally selecting the best solution with a designated time, within a designated time frame, and group setting. So here, innovation term is very very important. As I discussed in the beginning, innovation, this eye of innovation is catalyzed by the eye of inspiration. When inspiration is there, definitely innovation will take place. So innovation, when innovation is there, what will happen? It will create MIM, and this acronym means motivation plus impulse plus momentum. When this MIM, that is motivation, impulse, and momentum is there, then what will happen? Students will formulate questions, that what I am trying to achieve, or what I am trying to solve, where could this idea take me? And then they start discussing and evaluating their own ideas with their peers, or their peers work when they are working as a team. And then what happens? They use their weaknesses and their strength as opportunities. Then the next step would be, I mean, the result would be distillation occurs. Distillation means a lot of solutions are there in front of them while working in collaboration with each other. Then they choose the best ideas. They learn that perspiration requires positivism, right? And it requires commitment, it requires engagement, and early response to any shortcoming if we want to achieve success. In this way, this problem solving method, problem based learning, this will enhance the, you know, way of working when we are using technology in our classroom also. It will lead to an approach of invention, it will lead to an approach of innovation, and students become innovative by experiencing one more term I'm going to use here, with reference to its acronym, that is ICEDIP, that is inspiration, clarification, evaluation, distillation, incubation, and perspiration. So this ICEDIP, by passing through various stages of design thinking, will lead a learner and educationist, both of them, to achieve their objectives. A learner will achieve the learning objectives, and educator will achieve the teaching objectives, which is the demand of the time, which is the need of the hour, that the paradigm shift has to be supported with the necessary actions, necessary, pedagogies and methodologies to be utilized in the classroom to make our teaching learning process a great success. So this is all from my side, ma'am. So would you like me to elaborate it further?
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful presentation. I think you're on your last slide. The last slide says thank you. Have you been talking about some other slide?
No, it's done.
Yes, mine, ma'am. If you want, ma'am, if you want, you can elaborate on this. We have time. So if you want, you can elaborate on this particular slide.
Okay, fine. I would like to elaborate this slide only,
Yes, ma'am.
management of technology driven classroom, because see, when a teacher is going to the class, he should have a clear cut vision, he should have all these skills. As I said, that teachers have to update themselves by the process of reskilling and upskilling, by learning, relearning, and unlearning, which is very very important aspect. And incentives and rewards have to be kept in mind if we have to engage all the learners, involve all the learners in teaching learning process. Then what all are the resources which we are going to use, because we've had observed that during the pandemic time, many of the learners were deprived of using the technology based platforms or the various resources. They were not having access to those resources. Many reasons were there, but then it was the strategy planned by schools. In every school, students were provided individualistic support, and teachers contacted them individually, helped them a lot by help was provided even at their doorsteps. So resources is very very important, whether we are using technology in classroom or we are using the traditional teaching learning process. And then more over most important thing is action plans. Why we are asking to submit the lesson plan to the teachers? Because when the action plan is not ready, if we don't know about our destination, how can we move ahead? So if we have to manage our classrooms, then vision, skills, rewards, resources, along with action plan is a must. So if action plan is not there, then it is a false start, which will lead us nowhere. We'll come back to square one. And when action plan, reward, skills, and vision is there, but resources are not there, that would lead to frustration among educators as well as among the students also, and zero learning will happen then. And when the other things are there and rewards are missing, then gradual change will happen. It will not be at the pace as it is needed. And if skills are not there, if the teacher is not updating himself or herself, but the other things are being provided, then anxiety will be there, because students will not accept that teacher in the classroom. And when vision is not there, then each and everything, whatever we are trying our best in terms of skills or rewards or resources, action plan, then even then it will create a confusion. So it is advised for the educators, it is advised for the all the stakeholders who are involved in the strategy planning for the schools or institutions, that they must develop a vision first of all. Then they should provide proper uh, workshop and faculty development program for their teachers, educators, to make them skillful to learn new skills in the new normal. And rewards should be provided, should be made available, resources should be made available at all levels, and action. If all these things are there, then we can say that definitely change will happen. You know, change is an inevitable word, and change is the only constant in this VUCA world, I should say. So this is a positive change which will lead to successful and fruitful teaching learning process. It will help us in creating 21st century learner. And when we talk about global citizenship, this digital citizenship will be transferred to global citizenship. So these two terms, digital citizenship and global citizenship, they are not much different from each other. Very much they are dependent on each other. We can utilize smart technology in our classroom. Smart means, uh, smart approach which is used by uh, as in most of the areas, not only in classrooms but everywhere, which is time bound, measurable, attainable, relevant, and you know specific. Goals must be specific. So if we are following these strategies, even when we are using technology in our classrooms, definitely would be getting positive results. And one more thing I would like to talk about, the paradigm shift. That is, we have discussed already a lot about paradigm shift in terms of pedagogy, in terms of curriculum, in terms of teachers, in terms of parents. So I'd like to summarize that thing also. We have discussed about 5 C's, multifaceted approach of simultaneous development of cognitive domain of students, inclusive of 3 R's, that is reading, writing, and arithmetic, and socio-emotional development of the students, socio-emotional domain development of the students. So character building is very, which is very important aspect of all these. And pedagogy, chalk and talk method, not in use, not at all. It should be used in specifically in primary classes or pre-primary classes, because they need experience based learning. They must learn by doing something. So chalk and talk method would be transformed into synchronous and asynchronous way of dealing with the content, whether it is hybrid or blended mode of learning, it doesn't matter. So this is a new phase of pedagogy. When we talk about pedagogy, or this revolution in terms of teachers, then no more teachers are no more remaining the only source of information, but they are the path providers, which are working as a facilitator to the students, reaching, helping them to reach to their destination, that is educational excellence. So using technological advancement, if teachers are doing these things, utilizing these pedagogies, this is the new phase of education. When we talk about curriculum, curriculum means no more it's a document now. It is a new way to explore the things. It is a question to deal with. It is an answer to modify it. It is the question yet to be answered, technology yet to be developed or discovered. So, this is the new phase of education. So change is only constant, as I it is visible in this slide. It is a volatile change, it is a frequent change, it is a rapid change, it is unseen change, it is unexpected. So many adjectives we can use, but it is inevitable. Everyone would be agree with me that it is inevitable. So what has changed? Thought process has changed. What else has changed? Apprehension of people has changed. Teaching learning process has changed. Pedagogies have changed. Curriculum has changed. Style of parenting has changed. And now the education is not a monologue, it is a multi-log, not even dialogue, it's a multi-log. And AV rooms, not simply the AV rooms, now they are digitalized AVs with artificial intelligence, multiple intelligence, augmented reality, exploring. One thing I would like to say, that is, we should follow 6 P's. P, 6 P we should follow if we want to manage this technology driven classroom. That is, prior proper planning prevents poor performance. This 6 P is the golden rule. If it is followed, definitely we would be able to explore the machines. So now I would say that we would be exploring the machines without being machine. That is very, very important. Or I can say the punchline of my all the slides, that we should explore the machines without being machine, and then only we would be able to transform our learners, 21st century learner, to a digital citizen and to a global citizen. That's all. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that very elaborative presentation. And I think you covered a lot of it, right, starting from the various aspects of digital education and even the tools. There is a question over here, which is a very interesting one, which says, does it mean that you become a digital citizen and hence you also become a global citizen? So would you like to, put your thoughts on this?
Yes, global citizenship means it. We have to learn all the 4 aspects, 4 pillars of education: learning to be, learning to learn, learning to collaborate with each other. And it is possible only when we think about education in terms of being the digital citizenship first. Because see, just now what is happening, we are talking to each other by means of this platform, by using this platform, right? So it is possible because of this technology. Okay. If and during the past, those past 2 pandemic years, we must have observed, we participated in various webinars or conferences online. So we were connected to the people all over the world with the help of technology. So
Yes,
if we have to be a global citizen, first we have to be a digital citizen. Means netiquettes must be learned before
absolutely.
getting connected to the parts of the world.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking that question. Another question that we have before we also wrap up is, what do you think is the importance of teacher training, in spearheading this technological advancement or technical education that is becoming so normal? The importance of teacher training and, if you could, highlight stuff around teacher training as well, basically.
Yeah, very good question, ma'am. I would like to appreciate the viewer who has posted this. And I personally conducted, performed a case study in this regard in a school here in Uttar Pradesh only. And
Okay.
I collected the data about what was the outcome from the teachers before pandemic, during pandemic, and after pandemic. And I found that earlier, only 35% of the teachers were computer savvy in that particular institution. And when faculty development program and technology driven programs were arranged for them, and they started learning how to use this technology, they became more confident to use the
Absolutely.
technology in the classroom. Students were engaged and involved in a better way as compared to the a few days in the beginning, in, I guess, if I'm not wrong, in March 2020, when
Yes,
suddenly
ma'am.
this lockdown was announced. At that time everyone was in a dilemma, how to do, how to start, what to do, because resources were not available at certain places, or teachers were not trained. So we started it at individual level. Organized the programs, training programs for the teachers, and within no time, all their hesitation had gone, and they were, competent enough to deal with the technology. So I
Absolutely.
personally observed that this had a great impact on the teachers as well as students. If I
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about students, their academic performance, their behavioral performance, that was also getting affected because of this digital or ICT based classrooms. Because now, what we did actually while training the teachers or the students, we transferred the academic ownership to them, and giving them this confidence that yes, management or the school leader trusts you in your capability, you are able to do that. The only thing is to provide a little push up. That was given in terms of arranging those workshops and seminars and conferences and training sessions, which helped them a lot. And now 100% of the teachers, or in almost every institution, they are techno savvy. And teaching learning process has become so easy nowadays. I
Absolutely.
hope I would have given the clarification as required.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking the questions. Um, and also, thank you so much for joining us today and delivering such an informative and very, tool-based presentation, wherein I am sure the audience had a lot of takeaways. Thank you so much,
One
ma'am.
more
Once
thing
again,
I would like to add, ma'am,
yes, ma'am,
if you
definitely,
permit me,
definitely,
only last point, that
absolutely.
these components of futuristic schooling or futuristic learning, which we are talking about, that is technology based learning by using whatever four C's or five C's and flips and IMT, actually, whether it is for students or for teachers, it
Mhm.
helps in pedagogy by developing the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains, which is a very important aspect of education. How
Absolutely.
cognitive domain, if we talk about it, facilitates learning, helps in analyzing, helps in cooperating, and this cooperative learning by new ideas, that is development of cognitive domain. And when we talk about affective domain, then it develops interest in learning, it helps in expressing their feelings, so their affective domain gets developed. And the last one, that is psychomotor domain, it provides real environment by using multimedia. It reduces physical effort also. We are talking about bagless policy. What is that? That is, by using this technology in the classroom, we are uh, helping them to develop their psychomotor skills by engaging them in various activities. So this is what I wanted to add up to sum
That's,
up.
I think, a very wonderful conclusion to this very informative talk that we have had today. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again, for taking the questions, for joining us today and delivering a session, such an informative session. And definitely, this will account to a lot of pedagogical revolutions, keeping in mind the various technological interventions that we can, as teachers, do in the classroom and enhance the learning of students. Thank you, ma'am, once again for joining us, and hope you have a great evening. And I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wish you the same. And it
Thank,
was really a very nice experience
thank you
to
so
share
much,
with
ma'am. Thank you.
you.
Likewise.